Let's take a little break from the drama out there, man. It's been a bonkers week here in Magic the Gathering, 2 weeks approximately. You know, we have these bans, and then we have the Commander Rules Committee absconding. We got all kinds of stuff going on. But let's talk about budget power with Nashi, Searcher in the Dark. Oh, we're going to take a look at this card, buddy. Seems unassuming, but listen, you know, this is juicy. Way more powerful than it seems at first glance. And old Nicky G is going to take you down the garden path and tell you why, dude. But first, like and subscribe, all right? Leave a comment for the algorithm. We've got a Discord. Dudes are in there. They're sharing their souls, and they're sharing their steals and deals, and they're sharing their secret commander wisdom, brother. And if you want to support the channel directly, check out our Patreon. Nashi, Searcher in the Dark, blue and a black for a legendary creature, rat ninja wizard. It's a 2/2 with menace. Whenever Nashi, Searcher in the Dark, deals combat damage to a player, or Nashi, I don't know, dude, you mill that many cards. You may put any number of legendary and or enchantment cards from among them into your hand. If you put no cards in your hand this way, put a +1/+1 counter on Nashi. 2-mana commanders are dope, man. This thing is swinging on turn 3, self-milling for fun and profit. Read that ability again, man. You may put any number of legendary and or enchantment cards from among them into your hand. That's nuts. Soul Nacho here kind of illustrates the concept of a build-around commander. You have graveyard synergies. You have a commander-centered ability. You have 2 specific card types that can bring back to hand. All right, legendaries and enchantments. That's any legendaries. That's creatures, lands, neat little sorceries, some niche legendary stuff. The cool thing about a 2-mana commander is that you can push your curve way down. Not worry too much about ramp. You can get away with 4-mana sources, lands, get your game plan off the ground pretty easily. The bad thing about a build around 2-mana commander is that he's probably going to eat removal at some point in the game. You may have to devote some slots to protection pieces, counterspells, stuff that makes your commander hexproof. It's going to be the most threatening thing early. So we do have some drain in this deck, but our primary win condition here is getting our commander big and taking people out with commander damage. If we give this guy more evasion, you know, it's already got menace, but we need more evasion. Then we're milling 4, 5, 6 cards at a stripe, keeping our hand full of stuff. We're going to do this with auras. What makes Nashi such a big, excellent budget commander? Number 1, it's 35 cents. But number 2, auras are cheap as hell. Nobody ever sees these coming. There are tons of cheap 1 and 2 mana auras that make your guy a little bigger, gives a little more evasion, maybe draw a few cards while you're at it. Cards like Combat Research, Curiosity, Aether Tunnel, Cartouche of Knowledge, dude. Get that cartouche out there, you cartouche bag. And One with the Wind. I'm not going to list all of these, but rest assured, there are a bunch. One of my favorites from the old days is the Sleeper's Robe, blue and a black, enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has fear. Twist their minds with fear. I'm the one with the power among the living. Whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to an opponent, you may draw a card. It draws you cards, and it looks cool. The Sleepers were Phyrexian terrorists, basically, waiting in the shadows for the invasion to sow chaos from within. You also have some brutally cheap and effective protection auras like Fungal Fortitude out there, 1 in a black, enchantment aura has flash, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0. When it dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Damn, Jimi Hendrix is out there. He's turned into a mushroom in the purple haze of the world. And of course, Kaya's Ghost Form. Love this card. 1 black mana, enchantment aura, enchant creature or planeswalker you control. When enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Don't you dare bother me. I'm in my ghost form. How about this thing, the Molting Snake Skin? So this is 1 black mana, enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has 2 in a black, regenerate this creature. Regeneration, old school protection. Don't molt in public though, brother, come on. Look at this beautiful card, the Starlit Mantle. 1 in a blue, enchantment aura has flash, enchant creature you control. When this thing enters, enchanted creature gains hexproof until end of turn. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1. Pretty awesome, man. How about some legends out there? Isior the Wardwing Familiar. This guy's 1 in a blue, legendary creature, bird. It's a 1/3 with flying. Spells your opponent's cast that target 1 or more commanders you control. Costs 3 more to cast and has partner. This guy is kind of like Ward 3, I guess. You know, Isior's out there being a bro. Now you're in blues, so you may want to slap in some 2-mana counterspells. Always a good idea to bring protection. You know, grab an umbrella. If it's raining, you know what I'm saying? You grab an umbrella, dude. If there's a lot of COVID out there in the world, wear a mask, buddy. That's all I'm saying. But let's stay on theme here. We have some enchantment counterspells, believe it or not. Fear of Imposters, 1 blue. Enchantment creature, Nightmare. It's a 3/2 with flash. When this guy enters, counter target spell. Its controller manifests dread out there, man. Don't manifest bread. You know, this is a nice protection spell. Counters anything and is an enchantment. Very weird art though. Now we do want to talk about enchantment creatures, but first, there are some juicy reanimator enchantments like Animate Dead, Necromancy. These are about $5 each, but if you mill some kind of monster creature out of your library, you can dig it back out. Or if something gets murked on the other side of the field, these can hit opponents' graveyards as well. Now these are the kind of slappers you might want to leave in your graveyard so you can dig them out. Demon of Fate's Design, 4 black, enchantment creature demon. It's a 6/6 with flying and trample. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an enchantment spell by paying life equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. Has 2 and a black, sacrifice another enchantment. This guy gets +X/+O until end of turn, where X is the sacrifice enchantment's mana value. And brand new in this set, Fear of Sleep Paralysis, 5 and a blue. Enchantment creature, Nightmare. It's a 6/6 with flying. This guy has Eerie. Whenever this or another enchantment you control enters, and whenever you fully unlock a room, which we're not doing in this deck, tap up to 1 target creature and put a stun counter on it. Stun counters can't be removed from permanents your opponent's control, so you're basically taking that off the battlefield for as long as this guy stays out there. What a beast, man. If you ever had sleep paralysis, you know to fear it, brother. Fear the old blood, Lawrence. Now take a look at this guy, the ancient one, man. He's got that big old stick, brother. Blue and a black, legendary creature, Spirit God. It's an 8/8, has Descend 8. Can't attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanent cards in your graveyard. So that includes lands. Listen, you're going to be milling a lot of lands with Nashi out there. Also has 2 blue and a black, draw a card, discard a card. When you discard a card this way, target player mills cards equal to its mana value. You can just target yourself if you want. Excellent late game creep to where auras slap in. This deck slaps a lot of stuff in the graveyard, man, and has a lot of evasion auras. Now before I forget, stick Wonder in there, alright? In playtesting, you're often over 7 cards at end step. Discarding Wonder will make these creatures a little more evasive. I love that card, man. I have it in my zombie deck, right? 27 power worth of flying zombies is nothing to sneeze at, believe me. Enchantment based removal in these colors is actually pretty good, and it's plentiful. Prison in the Moon is probably the best one, and his budget right now, it's about $1. But listen, brother, it's raining frogs out there, and the chemicals in the water are making the frogs, well, a little hoppier than they were before. There's nothing wrong with that. Amphibian Downpour is 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura, has flash and storm. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature loses all abilities and is a blue frog creature token with base power and toughness 1/1. Classic card, the Oubliette. Is your kid having trouble with their math homework? Throw them in the Oubliette. You know, is your girlfriend having trouble out there with some of her friends? Throw the friends in the Oubliette, dude. Forget about them. 1 black for an enchantment. When it enters, target creature phases out until Oubliette leaves the battlefield. Tap that creature as it phases in this way. This card's a classic, man. I've got the Arabian Nights version chilling in a safe out there. Beautiful old card, but the new one is already up to about $3. Now here's a card that I had never seen before, the Twisted Embrace. 2 black for an enchantment aura. Enchant artifact or creature you control. When this thing enters, destroy target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gets +1/+1. This is a weird card, really evocative art though, man. There's a severed head, right? There's some floating knives out there, dude. I never ask questions when a dude shows up with floating knives and a severed head. You know, they get to cut the gas line at Costco, alright? I said it. And of course, there are some legendary sorceries we can capitalize on. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, 4 and a black legendary sorcery. You gotta have a legendary creature or planeswalker out there. Put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker card from a graveyard, any graveyard, onto the battlefield under your control. Destroy up to 1 target creature or planeswalker and then exile it. Any graveyard. You know, I know it's 5 mana, but this is a sweet 2-for-1, man. Then you got cards like Karn's Temporal Sundering. Neat little extra turn spell. So listen, at the end of the day, this is a budget deck, but you gotta get your dude huge. You need that huge Rat Ninja Wizard, and you gotta slap in, buddy. Auramancer's Guise, 2 blue for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 for each aura attached to it and has vigilance. 4 mana for this, not bad. Get evasion on your guy, sculpt your hand, reanimate stuff. That's the plan, dude. And old Jim Carrey from The Mask is here to help you make stuff happen. Then you have the old Octopus Umbra, 3 blue, enchantment aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has base power and toughness 8/8, and as whenever this creature attacks, you may tap target creature with power 8 or less. Helps your dude get in. What you have here is a beautiful lady wearing a spiritual octopus, alright? She's about to take over to the shoreline. She's going to take you to the shoreline, brother. And that's beautiful octopus love, buddy, and that's better commander, dude. Also wanted to highlight Nerd Rage, 2 and a blue for an enchantment aura, enchant creature. When this enters, draw 2 cards. Enchanted creature has you have no maximum hand size, and whenever this creature attacks, if you have 10 or more cards in hand, it gets +10/+10 until end of turn. This is kind of the exception I made to the maximum hand size expanders. You know, I do have a couple in here. This is an amazing card. It can be a knockout blow, buddy. Listen, I've seen Nerd Rage before, alright? It's nothing to laugh at. I've seen guys smash PlayStation controllers in one blow. Now, enchantments and legends, this is a pretty wide group of cards. There are various legends you can slot in to augment your commander. I didn't go too far in that direction because I was searching out auras. I lean more into enchantments. You definitely need to check out some of the legendary lands though. You know, these can help keep your hand full of lands. Rivendell, Barad-dûr. There are some others, but they get pretty pricey at a certain point. Gyre Reach Sanitarium is a good one in this deck too. So of course old Nicky G has a deck list for you in the description, buddy. It's going to be a budget sub $60, you know, getting down a pre-con price point there. Lots of synergy, swinging for 11 evasive damage on turn 4, refilling your hand with 5 or 7 cards, man. Dump them into the graveyard if you want. It's a very powerful commander if you build your deck so that the vast majority is legends and enchantments. It's a beautiful thing, dog, but it's a little fragile. You know, you kind of need Nashi out there, so there are those protection pieces. Anyways, man, this is a suggestion from a patron. I listen to my patrons, brother. But don't sleep on Nashi, man. It's a good card. Nicky G, better commander, signing off.